Good morning. My name is Jeff Comen. I'm an Emerson Network Power infrastructure people. Before I begin, let me just tell you a little bit about myself. You hear me now? Let me tell you about me. I've been in the channel since the early 80s. So I go back to selling IBM PCs and XTs and Apple Lisas and 2Cs and things like that. So I've been doing this for a long time. I've been in the power business for the last 25 years. So anything to do with UPSs, air conditioning, rack PDUs, management software, and those racks, things like that. We're in the age of big data, as we all know. Terabytes and terabytes of data. Thank you, Jack. I don't tend to talk too loud, I'm sorry. And that's what we're dealing with, which means we need storage, we need compute power, and we need places to put things, and we need to protect those devices. So, as you know, things have been going out to the edge. I think everybody talks about that today, whether you're talking about computers, switches, or infrastructure products, everything's getting pushed out. So we need to protect, we need to monitor for it's not at the edge. So anything from a small little closet to a large data center, that's the sort of thing we deal with. And again, going through this kind of, the way we're looking at it is everything's getting pushed out, as you know. Remember years ago, things started in the data center, they went back, they came back in, now they're going back again. Constant process. So the idea now is infrastructure anytime, anywhere, any place. And when we talk about infrastructure, we're talking about those devices that support the switches, the servers, the routers, things like that are sitting in those racks, they're sitting in those devices. And when we say infrastructure, we're talking about the racks they stack in, the PDUs they plug into, the UPSs they plug into for issues with power and whatnot, and the air conditioning, because if you're going to put a lot of power in a closet, that means you're generating heat, that means you've got to provide air conditioning. And that's kind of what we're looking at. So, from an environmental standpoint, it's more and more challenges, because a lot of times if you go into a closet, it's not necessarily set up for air conditioning and things like that. There may not be that much room. And so, again, there are solutions available to solve those issues, but we need to identify those issues first. So, a lot of times, what we start to look at is, instead of one or multiple devices, we're trying to put a solution together for you. So what we're seeing now is standardization. So you might take a rack. Within that rack, you might have a certain UPS. You may have a certain PDU. You may have some communication in that rack. You may be monitoring that rack. And you have the same rack in all your closets or your deployments. This way you then put your devices in there. Again, switches, routers, things like that. And now everything looks the same. Along with support of those products, because not only do you need support on the switches, the servers, you also want support for the UPS or the air conditioner or anything else. You want to know that if something goes wrong, someone can get out there quickly and resolve that issue. So what do we do? When you look at these solutions, it can be anywhere from racks, the rack PDUs, trays, where you have your console trays, you want to pull out, you can get multiple servers, multiple devices. Distribution, so you have a lot of different solutions wrapped around what you plug this into. From a PDU standpoint, you have intelligent PDUs. That's what's going on today. Why do we want intelligent PDUs? It allows us to turn on outlets off and on, so I can reboot something remotely. I can also measure what kind of power it's drawing. I can also shut off outlets so that no one can plug something into there. So someone can come by and plug that floor washer or polisher in and actually blow up that PDU line. UPSs. So a variety of UPSs, small, big, everything in between. A lot of times it's racked. Within that UPS you have an SNMP adapter of some sort, so now it's on the network. Along with that, you can measure temperature, humidity in that closet, in that rack, and all that information can come back again to the IT people. As we know, there's more and more devices being supported by less and less people. So we need to give you tools. We start to talk about things called like a single pane of glass that we can bring this information back into for you. And that's when we get into things like remote management. So you have all this stuff deployed out there. You want to be able to monitor it. You want to be able to control it. And we have, again, management software. We have devices that allow you to do that. And again, that's all part and parcel of that deployment that we have out there that we want to be able to manage. The worst thing can happen is something goes wrong, you don't know about it until it's too late. You'd rather try to be proactive versus reactive. And again, what's the value of remote management? Again, you can stay, you can be proactive. You can see what's going on. You can measure. You can, okay, if something's, the temperature starts to go up in a closet, you know about it, or in a rack, and you can go do something versus waiting that something already happened. It also allows, again, since you have less people supporting more devices, it allows you to support all those things out there from, again, a single pane of glass from that laptop, no matter where you are. I'm going to bring up Dave Bailey, who's my counterpart. We just got here, in time.
Nothing like time.
To talk a little bit about, again, the remote management, remote access.
So Emerson Network Power has a lot of different divisions or products. One of them is Avison. Avison, if any of you have heard or know much about the industry, has been KVM over IP for years. We have 3 different devices that we generally use, and the first one is the ACS. It's a serial-only product. It comes in many different flavors, has a lot of different type options, but it's serial interface, remote appliance to any of your serial-based appliances out there. There's big or large 48-port devices for data centers. There's also a lot of an edge-oriented product. This thing's on auto. Go ahead. So really good for wiring closets, really good for large data centers. Single point of view, single focus product. It only does serial. Second product we have is the Merge Point Unity, which is the traditional KVM over IP. Again, a lot of different flavors and sizes, options and features. This also has the ability to do a little bit of serial. It's not perfectly cost effective as a serial-only device, but it's really good in areas where, you know, say out of 24 ports, 20 of them you wanted to use for server KVM and 4 for serial devices to give you the serial console. The next generation product we have is kind of a combination of all and it's more. Only comes in 40 ports, but it's unique in that every port is individual and whatever you plug into that port is what that port becomes. So if you plug in a KVM dongle, it becomes a KVM port. You plug in a serial, just a RJ45, it becomes a serial console or serial interface. The other thing it does is it does IPMI. So ILO, rack, all the standard, you know, Cisco has their own, IBM has their own. All the standard IPMI layers it can handle. It can either have them directly attached in a dual-headed KVM dongle. So that way you have KVM over IP plus virtual KVM within one port or one interface. But there's also another way that if you make the UMG part of your network, you can have KVM sessions, you can have serial sessions, but it'll find every ILO and direct that you have in that network, bring the address in, and thereby giving you access to that address. The unique advantage is, with this product or any of our products, we have a software product called DSU. It's a single interface, it's a web landing page. The reason it is such a compelling thing is no matter what device you have on the back end or what connection you have in your data center, it's a single landing page with all your points of control. So if you were to ask why Avison became something that Emerson acquired and why it became so important for the overall solution, is it allowed them, or Emerson itself, Emerson Network Power, to touch remote access every device in your data center remotely, secure from a single landing page, and lock them all up in a nice, clean and secure environment. So that's kind of the Emerson part. And that's VSView. VSView is just our landing page. It's the software you use. Doesn't matter what device you have. The thing that makes it nice is, when things don't go well in your data center, it's just you hit there and you go down the checklist on where you want to go. And you can hit those devices any way you like, or any way that there's a connection available. If you're using software and other type ways of getting into your environment, you can add that link within VSView as well. If you're using web cards or any other devices, again, you can add that link within VSView. So the idea being remote access and control in a data center, in a closet, in your environment, one landing page locked up into Windows AD or any of the Active Directory standards that you might use.